You're listening to episode 3 of SportsCaster.com's Open Mic, the podcast. I'm Johnny Kane. Welcome to the show. Cooper Schoenberg is here, and a special guest on the program this week, Noah Shemami from SportsCaster.com. Fellas, before we dive in, quick life update. Where are you, and what's been the highlight of the week? Cooper.
All right, I'll feel this one. You know this. I got a cool experience going right now. We're in Friday Harbor, Washington. Flew in on the red eye to Seattle yesterday. Got in early in the morning. Time change set us back a little bit, but it's beautiful out here in the Pacific Northwest. 2-hour drive to Anacortes, 1.5 hour ferry, and now we're here on maybe the most beautiful land I've ever stepped foot on. Just a nice, quaint little town. I'm a Midwest boy, so I'm not used to like the mountains and these trees. It looks like open season. Shout out, great animated movie. But this place is awesome. So honestly, the whole weekend, shout out the Tucker Belts. Great time here, and I'm looking forward to just exploring a little more.
True or false? It's raining.
Very true. I mean, I was gonna get a little scenery in the back, and it is damp outside, so we're inside.
That's all right. Pacific Northwest, some of the best part of the continental United States. All right, Shemami, where are you? What's up?
Well, right now I'm in the home of where I live, and a part of me wishes I was in Cooper's shoes right now, enjoying that. It is nice over here, but the way he was describing it, it sounds very beautiful over there. And the highlight of my week so far has been my love for pickleball. I really got into it this week. I played every day and trying to be competitive in it now as I've played throughout the week.
So, I love that.
Wow, pickleballer, Shemami.
Okay. Yeah, started out with tennis and then now moved on to the doubles. So
Shemami, let's get on the court sometime.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
I'll do it. Come on,
hey, count me in. I want to get in on this action. All right, so you're in Shelby Township, and how did you get involved with SportsCaster?
Well, I went to the Dan Patrick School of Sportscasting. I graduated a couple of years ago from there, and I just got into it with listening to 97 Won the Ticket, also watching a lot of Tigers baseball throughout my teenage years and early 20s, and I just grew fond of it and wanted to pursue it professionally, marketing or media type and etc.
Yeah, dig it. Well, you got a great voice, and you and Cooper both have great voices, and it's the greatest profession in the world working in sports. There's no doubt about it. Today's big topic of the day, boys: how much noise is too much noise at a ballpark? Are we doing too much to cater to the attention deficit? I got a simple solution: more organ, less sound effects. But before we get into all that, we're going to go rapid fire here. You guys ready? A couple quick ones to get us out of the gate. These are questions that were sent in. All right, you get to call one sporting event tomorrow. What are you choosing? Cooper Schoenberg.
Oh, my God. One sport. Like it could be any. Oh, my God. I'm going to just have to go, just based on the play-by-play that I've done in the past and my love of basketball, I would have to say the finals in March Madness. If I could do one thing, just a cherry on top, winner takes all, don't have to worry about a game 2 or 4 or anything like that. Let's go finals of March Madness.
Okay, I dig that. All right, Noah Shemami.
I'm going to tail off the basketball end too, but I'm going to go more professional. And I want to do the play-by-play of the San Antonio Spurs taking on the New York Knicks in the NBA Finals. I would love to see Wemby just in person, but to call his actions live, they call him an alien for a reason. And to see an alien in person calling his actions, his shots, that'd be awesome.
All right, I like that. All right, so those are two good ones. I could agree with both. I did call Wemby at a game earlier this year, Pistons Spurs, incredible at their place. But I'm going, if I could go one sporting event, I'm going Kentucky Derby. First Saturday in May. I'm thinking Dave Johnson, and down the stretch they come with the Derby. Full 20-horse field, calling the action. I've like run it through my mind like a bunch. Some of the greatest calls in my lifetime. Like Armstrong, I remember in 1989, Kentucky Derby, Sunday Silence, easy goer, incredible race. Then Tom Durkin one of the legendary race callers. I go back to like the Belmont Stakes, 2004. The whip is out on Smarty Jones. He's just one furlong away.
Birdstone is going to make him earn it today. The whip is out on Smarty Jones. It's been 26 years. It's just one furlong away. Birdstone is an upside front. They're coming down to the finish. Can Smarty Jones hold on? Here comes Birdstone. Birdstone surges past. Birdstone wins the Belmont Stakes.
I would go race calling, the prep that goes into it to make sure you're crescendo in the action. I'm going Kentucky Derby. And you hate to like try to come up with your own, because I mean, not that you hate to try to come up with your own, but like, how do you do better than, and down the stretch they come, which is actually patented. You can't use it. So shout out Dave Johnson, great call. Yeah. Somebody has tried using it. Stop saying it.
All the calls I've heard in my entire life, I think the Rich Strike call is the greatest call I've ever heard.
Larry Comas,
just not even mentioning him once. Zizou and Zandonson, like just the whole time neck and neck, and out of nowhere, Rich Strike. Yep. And you can hear the love. You can hear the love in his voice. That thing gives me goosebumps.
They're coming down to the wire. Knuckle center's ended. Rich Strike is coming up on the inside. Oh my goodness! The longest shot has won the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. Yeah, nothing like thoroughbred racing, in my opinion. All right, next question. What's one sports media job you would take for a day? I'll give you examples here. Say anchoring Sports Center. Okay, I know Sports Center has kind of transitioned from what it was when I was a kid to when you guys were kids. But anchor Sports Center, NFL sideline reporter, perhaps. Say you could run a social media account for a professional team. Play-by-play announcer, which obviously both of you guys have experience doing. Podcast host or radio host. Or none of the above, you got your own. What's one sports media job you would take for a day? Cooper.
I got this, easy. And, you know, we have all three of us have experience doing play-by-play and being on a podcast or podcast hosting. And I've done a couple sideline reporting jobs in the NFL. Is really fun to watch. But what about manning the ship for the entire day? I'm going to go Scott Hansen, NFL Red Zone for a single day, calling the witching hour, doing the whole shebang. That is the dream right there.
Okay, I like that. All right, Noah.
I would say, I mean, they all just are great to do, but I would say the one that points out the most would probably be on the glass behind the net by the goalie in the NHL arena, just listening to the crowd go nuts while you have to deliver a report on something, and just being in the moment, having poise. That is the 100th percentile for me, or the 1 percentile.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, being ringside. Yeah, people banging on the glass and
feeling the environment.
Yep. Yeah, top cam zooming in, tight on Shemami.
Ray Ferraro.
Yeah,
yes.
Exactly. All right, very good. Okay, you get one sports superpower. What are you taking? So let's say we'll go basketball. You never miss a shot. Football, you could throw the football, say 80 yards. You could run a 4.2 40, which obviously transcends a lot of different sports. You can make every putt, one putt McGee, or you could never get tired. What are you going with, Coop?
I'll go a variation of the one putt because, we love golf. Exactly. I just want to be an absolute twig. So I'm not going to say, I'm making a hole-in-one on every par three. I think that's a little far-fetched. Just how about on every single hole for the rest of my life, I'm on in regulation. I'm setting myself up for par. I can easily become a scratch golfer. Someone asked me, hey, are you good? Yeah, I'm a stick.
I'm a stick. It's the greatest compliment in the world. That guy's a stick.
No matter where I am off the tee, put me in the bunker 2 holes over and I'll somehow scramble and get on. Let me just have that ability to get on in regulation. I'm a scratch.
Okay, I dig it. All right, Noah.
Both Cooper's golf hitting every putt sounds miraculous. I would want to take that. But Johnny, you mentioned never getting tired. I have a recent history of my stamina has went down a little bit. So having to go out on every shift on the ice, or pickleball, anything like that, to have unlimited energy, I think I would never lose, just because, I mean, I think that's my biggest flaw right now when it comes to physical activity. So
we got to get that conditioning.
Unlimited stamina.
All right, I like that.
Yes.
Unlimited stamina. All right, yeah, that's a tough one to beat. Obviously, never missing a shot would be great. And if we ever do get out on court, I mean, I rarely miss anyway. But I'm joking. But I would say I like the idea of just one putting. And again, greatest compliment in the world, I feel like you can say about any person is just like, hey, man, have you ever met Noah? You ever met Cooper? And somebody just says, oh, yeah, he's a stick.
Stick.
I can just
get better than that.
Dialed twig, man.
That's it. Okay. Most overrated stadium, arena, or sporting event that you've ever attended. Most overrated. A lot of hype. Didn't live up to it. Cool.
So easy. So easy.
Oh, really?
And it's not because I'm a New York hater. All right. It isn't. Like, I can get behind a couple of the teams. But from all my friends saying bleacher creature this and the roll call guy, I think Yankee Stadium is absolute garbage. All right. I love the location in the Bronx. You get off the train, a couple amazing bars to go to and have a great time, pre-game, post-game. When you get in there, it'll be dressed up with fancy food for those consumers. And obviously, you can get a regular ballpark dog or beer wherever you go. But it's just a dome. I think Comerica Park is 1,000 times better. I can name 10 ballparks myself that I've been to that are 1,000 times better. I think that Yankee Stadium is just so unbelievably overrated.
Wow.
Easy.
Shemami.
And everybody's got their rowdy fans. Like, nice. You made the name Bleacher Creature, all right? Settle down.
Noah, what do you got?
I'm going to pick a stadium I've been to at least 100 times. I'm going to say the Joe Louis Arena.
Really?
Now, yeah, I
You're a
know it
hockey
has
guy.
a lot. I know it has a lot of history. I just think from the layout of everything and how it was built, they built it like any other old school ice hockey arena that wasn't professional. If you go to Fraser or something, you kind of see the same layout as how it was at the Joe. Yeah. And I think the problem is they never really truly tried to renovate. I know they built Little Caesars Arena, but for the longest time, from when I started going there, from when I was 6 years old, all the way up to 16, I didn't see one change. And that's what I kind of look forward in is renovations when it comes to a stadium and stuff. But they just never changed to anything new. And a lot of great memories there. But as far as the layout, I think a little bit overrated.
All right. Joe Louis opened in 1979. 1979. Okay, last question. You get to spend one day with one athlete, any time period. Who is it? What are you talking about? Cool.
Oh my God.
One athlete.
Noah, do you have an answer for this?
I'm mixed. I'm putting my hand in the bag right now. I'm trying to think. I got multiple options. So
Johnny, what do you got?
I'm going Joe DiMaggio, 1940s. We're spending the day together. We're going to the yard. I'm just watching him do his work. We're just hanging. Like that, to me, that's when baseball was its purest. DiMaggio is my favorite player all time. Just because it's such an enigma. Obviously, a lot of people know about the marriage to Marilyn Monroe and all that. It was almost like, and some people may remember him from his Mr. Coffee days, post-playing days. But I just feel like I've read so many biographies on DiMaggio. I would like to spend a day with him, either back in his hometown of San Francisco, or I would actually like to be with him, go to the yard in New York, any point in time. That would be my pick.
I don't know. This is hard. This is so hard. I could say Lawrence Taylor and just see what we get up to in the 80s in New York. Let's keep it PG now. I'm going to go, what? Just because I don't think I've really said anything Detroit yet, and I just absolutely love the city, and I love the Pistons most of all. I would just want to roll around with IT. He calls up Aguirre and Lambeer and Mahorn and Vinny the Microwave and Joe Dumars and all the boys. And I just want to see the aura that they would create walking around downtown Detroit, popping. in 88, 89 and just see what that was like, just to see
Yeah.
a team that was truly better and more feared than anybody else in the league. I would love to see what that was like walking around, just that
All right, I like
contagiousness,
that.
walking around the 313 and then going to Auburn Hills to play in the Palace, the greatest stadium of all time.
That's right. All right, Noah, you're on the clock.
I'm going to go talent here. I'm going to go starting pitcher for the Detroit Tigers. I'm going to say Tarik Skubal.
Let's go
Wow.
Scoobs.
I've been a fan of his since 2021 when he came into the MLB, when Pat Caputo was talking about the big three and Mize, Skubal, and Manning. And those three I was, because we didn't really have a lot of hope. And those three were the hope to upbring this Tigers organization, which I think they did for the most part up until recently. But Tarik Skubal, I think he's one of the most talented pitchers of all time. 100 plus on the fastball, changes him up with the circle change, and then gets him with the slider. He's got so many pitches in his repertoire that can strike out batters, and it's awesome to watch.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And
Yeah,
just
Tarik
to
Skubal.
ask him, like, how did you get your fastball up? Like, what made you go from I think he was the 19th round selection, or I could be wrong, but he was pretty late. And what made you go from being underlooked to being the best now in the game?
Yeah, I like it, man. Yeah, and I've spent some time with him. The one thing I remember, like going back to the earliest years when he came in, like before he was really, known. So he was ninth round back in 2018.
Ninth
But
round.
he was
yes.
one of the, right, because Mize was one of one, and
Mhm.
obviously with Manning. So he was, he developed late and into, what he's become, obviously the two-time Cy Young. But even with all the fame and the success that he's had, he's a terrific human being, and I think you would enjoy spending some time with him. Yeah, that's a good one though. Definitely Tarik Skubal, like for today's day, like a modern elite athlete, and he's super relatable. So I like it. All right, let's get to today's big topic of the day. We'll stick with the baseball theme because I think back to, so, when I first started listening to baseball, on the radio, I was privileged to listen to Ernie Harwell, which a lot of people were. And radio is different. And obviously, as kind of the evolution of sports and broadcasting and how advertising dollars has changed, how we consume the product. Okay, so I work on the television side nowadays, and a lot of our shows have tons of sponsors, as you guys know. So even the baseball broadcasts, and I get it, everybody wants a cut of the action, but like pitching changes are sponsored, or guys walking to the plate would be sponsored, or we always have a graphics package up, to try to, whether it's like StatCast, this. So there's a lot to be consumed. But you go back to like when Harwell was on the radio and you didn't have as many reads. Now they still had some sponsorship reads for sure, but you could hear like the ambient noises in the ballpark, right? And you could hear the birds chirping. You could allow the game to breathe. And obviously this is before pitch clocks and everything else. So sometimes the games would bleed out and you get north of 3 hours. You go back to last year's game 5 of the ALDS, it went 4 hours and 57 minutes. Yep. Tigers, Seattle Mariners. But I like that. And it's not for everybody. Some people want the games to move along. They want it in a tighter window, 2.5 hours. Let's consume it that way. Larger video boards we've seen, so, it's always like to make some noise. There's a lot of like, it's a production now when you go to a ballpark. So in my opinion, I like it the way that it used to be. I like less is more. It was kind of like you go sit in your seat, you're just enjoying it. Like you're taking in a ball game, but you're at an event. And it wasn't a constant stimulus that I feel like today has evolved into. So my question to you is, when you guys go to a ball game, not so much like watching it on TV or listening, but when you guys go to a ball game, say it's Comerica Park or anywhere, does that even resonate with you? Like, are you ever sitting there and you're like, man, it's just like a constant stimulus, or do you feel like that's just part of it? Or would you rather it be more of an occasional walk-up song? Let's maybe hear an organ. Let's maybe get to the 7th inning stretch, but not have a song before the 7th inning stretch. Do you know what I'm saying? Does that even resonate with you?
In my opinion, from what I've seen now, is that the MLB is really trying to move on from a baseball being America's pastime sport. And with the attention spans of kids, if you see the latest studies, how low our Gen Z's attention span has been getting.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with them doing all these extracurricular stuff because they're trying to get as many young up and coming people to tune into this product. And I think with inning by inning, if you could have something maybe in between, or something like the Flash guy in Atlanta or something like that, I think it really gives a more memorable experience to these stadiums, as each and everyone's stadium has a unique theme or program that they do. And I'm for it. I really am. I think with all these, the new technology, especially with AI, I can't imagine what else they could do with, getting the fans more involved in an interactive experience. Because baseball is the only sport, I believe, that the fans can kind of interact with the game. They're kind of a part of it, catching foul balls or
Yeah.
something around that.
Yeah, no, I think that, and again, I say there's science behind it, and it's a personal preference deal. And if you love baseball, you're always going to love baseball. But how do you attract a younger, newer audience, like you mentioned, Gen Z? I think it says more about like society as a whole. Again, our attention spans, if you think about it, and I know our age gaps are a little bit different of what it was like. Like I didn't have like a cell phone going up, through high school and all that other stuff, so I didn't have that constant stimulus. And now it does feel like, baseball, because it's like, you got to keep up. And like, how are you going to cater to make it fan interactive? How are you going to engage the patrons that you get inside the ballpark? And to your point, Noah, they do have a lot of that, in between innings and whatever, even in between pitches, to try to engage the crowd that's there. Because we know, like, I go back to the 2020 COVID year. It was a 60-game season, if you remember. So the only people that were allowed in the ballpark were the players, the umpires, and then we were broadcasting the game. But there weren't any fans allowed. Remember, we had like the cardboard cutouts behind home plate, but the video board wasn't on. I think they did put the video board on at some point where you could see like who was coming up next, but there wasn't that like in-game, the promotions. But it almost felt like, I felt like you were like a king back in the day, where it was like, entertain me, like put on a show. And I was like, it was like for an audience of one, because everybody was watching at home, but there weren't 40,000 or 37,000 people in the stands. It was so incredible because you heard every pitch. There was no noise outside of like the pop of the glove or off a foul tip, or if a ball was hit hard. And I remember just thinking like, wow, like this is the purest form of baseball that I've ever seen, because there was nothing to take away from like the actual product on the field. But that was obviously a one-off because of COVID. So it's just interesting to me. I love the traditional aspect of the sport, and I'd like to hear a little bit more of that, the kind of the downtime, like, and maybe something doesn't need to be said. And if you've ever called baseball, it's very difficult to do, to fill, all the gaps. Sometimes it's okay to just let it breathe.
I will say I agree with Noah. I think the MLB just has to do all these things, because again, attention span getting shorter, so it's a good way to keep us entertained. I think the best thing the MLB has done, rather than ballpark entertainment catered through, every individual team and what they tend to do with music and events and little activities throughout the game, I just think the MLB, what they've done to, I'm all for speeding up the game. I think the pitch clock was phenomenal, and I think ABS is great. And specifically with ABS, where I see it now, I've already been to, since I've been back from college, 2 or 3 Tigers games. And every time something gets challenged, it's like almost like Hawkeye in tennis, where the crowd starts clapping. It's like, oh, and then it's either, oh, or like, ah, shit. You know what I mean? But I think they do a great job. That is a way where you get it up on the Jumbotron, get everybody involved, and keep the game more honest, true, and fast-paced. I think that is the best way to keep the game sped up and entertaining.
Yeah, and Cooper, that the ABS, that really changed the game, because now you're watching the game, and if it's off the plate just by a little bit, you're like, oh, you got to challenge that. It's you got to do this, and then they don't challenge it. It's like, oh, they just lost one right there. And now it's like that's changed the game. Huge.
Yeah, I wasn't sure I was going to like it as much as I do, and I honestly, to your point, Coop, it is a like that does inject like immediate, like a vitamin B injection, like boom, because everybody like everybody's looking up at the
Everybody's
screen and it's
up
an eighth of an inch out of the zone. It's like, I knew it.
That's
you
so
know?
close. Yeah.
Yeah, but it is incredible. I do like ABS. And honestly, I got to look at the numbers again. But through the first month of the season, with all the ABS challenges per game, it was adding an average of 17 seconds to the game. All the challenges. Think about that, because everybody's like, we don't want to slow it down. Like how many times in basketball, challenge the call, you go to commercial break, and they didn't want that to happen. So they're able to get it right, speed up the game. And honestly, over the course of an entire game, ABS challenges are adding about 17 seconds, which is a win.
And those 17 seconds are fun.
Exactly.
It turns everybody,
Really?
even at home, right? I said the Leonardo DiCaprio meme, and these people can sit up and go like, ooh, whatever. And they become their own home umpire or in-stadium umpire. And challenge it. Then they challenge it. Now it's, and either you got it wrong, and that's why you're a fan, or you get it right, and you might have a future being a Blue. But no, I think it's fun. And I'm excited to see what they keep doing in the future.
Yeah, no question. And maybe the best challenger on planet Earth, Dylan Dingler, behind the plate. Detroit Tigers.
So
boys,
we could do a whole podcast episode.
We could. I feel like this podcast felt like 17 seconds. All right, we cooked today. Good stuff, good insight. Cooper Schoenberg, enjoy the Pacific Northwest. Noah Shemami, enjoy Shelby Township. All right, I'll be holding it down
Let's
here.
Trade place for a sec, Coop. Enjoy that.
Basically all the same. All right, always appreciate you guys tuning in. You've been listening to Open Mic, the podcast.